Welcome to our second edition of Couch Conversations. I am your host, Chantal Bailey of Chantal Bailey and Associates, Attorneys at Law. Today we have a most amazing and most welcomed guest, and I'm going to go ahead and allow her to introduce herself.
Hey guys, my name is Amoya Hammond. I'm the Administrative Assistant with Chantal Bailey and Associates, Attorney at Law.
Okay, so tell us, how long have you been with Chantal Bailey and Associates?
I've been here a year and a couple months now.
Couple months, make it sound a little bit. Because you came in May. It's May?
March.
No, March. Oh, wow. Oh,
Yeah.
but you're only 2 months away from the 2 years. That should make it sound like, say, it's 1 year and a little bit. No. Right, so you make it sound like you've only been here for 1 year, a little bit of months. No, she's almost at 2 years. So, yeah. So this edition of Couch Conversations is all about, I guess Amoya having been here for 2 years and what she has learned about purchasing property. So Amoya, how old are you?
I'm 20 years old.
You're 20 years old, which means at some point you're going to want to purchase property.
Definitely.
Love it, right? So in the 2 years that you have been here at Chantal Bailey and Associates, like what have you learned that you will be using when it's your turn to purchase property?
So first off, definitely retain an attorney.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Why? Because the people listening are going to be, because you work for an attorney. So why?
No man. So an attorney actually looks out for your best interest, right?
So why me can't look out for my best interest? Like me not being an attorney, like I'm not an attorney and I'm going to purchase property, like why me can't look out for my own interest?
Well, an average citizen like you would there are certain things that an attorney would know because she actually studies it, well, him or her.
Yeah.
You as the average person wouldn't know certain things.
Right.
So for instance, for the negotiation between a vendor and a purchaser, right? Look into the agreement for sale. There are certain things that an attorney would have an eye for detail for.
Right.
Yeah.
Catch girl, eye for detail for what you not say.
So retain an attorney because you want to make sure that you're getting the what's the word?
You want to ensure that you're getting everything that's in your best interest.
Yes,
Right. So every now and again we get agreements for sale. Every now and again, all the time. But we get an agreement for sale and I ask you to review the agreement for me. Like just give it a cursory glance. So usually what I'm asking you to look for is making sure that people's TRNs are right. Because if the TRN are right, that's going to cause problems when it goes stamp office. Making sure the names are right. Making sure, for instance, if you have a dash in your name on your TRN, that dash needs to be in the agreement for sale because that can cause problems when it goes to the tax office and slow down the process, result in penalties, bad things, right? So want to avoid delay, right? But what's the difference between when you review the agreement and when we review the agreement?
So when I review the agreements, there is a lot of things that I miss that you won't miss.
Right.
For instance, say that I am looking at the the deposit then or the purchase price. So I can see a deposit saying that we have to pay like 10%.
Yeah.
And then, if you have an attorney, your attorney will say, my client.
Based on your resources, so you can judge based on your interaction with the clients what they're able to afford, and not even just that. So always like as a standard, like from the change in the transfer tax and stamp duty act has happened, my position is if my client can pay 5% upfront, that's what I'm going to recommend. And the reason for that is like when you go to your mortgage officer, you might just end up getting 95% financing or 100% financing, and there's no benefit to you as a purchaser to giving more of your money away than you have to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, so the average person will know that. They will just say, oh, this is 10%, I have to pay it.
Right.
Yeah.
And there have also been circumstances, we've had circumstances where people, so we have some interesting ways of doing things in Jamaica where, we're lawyers, our job is to, how do you word this? So there are ways that we figure out how to Well, the Jamaican wording is for it is going to be we know how to go around the law, right? So by law, technically speaking, you're not supposed to pay more than 10% as a deposit. In fact, we did a red flag. I don't know if by the time this airs you'll see it, but we did a red flag video. If somebody is asking you to pay more than 10% upfront, that's a red flag. In fact, it's illegal, but we find ways around it. So you say a deposit and further payments because you're paying like a partial payment towards the property, right? But things like that, as a person who has not studied the law, you're not gonna know that.
Exactly.
So yeah.
It's an attorney to negotiate for 5%.
Yes.
Anyways.
Among many other things.
Alright, so I would
So that's
say-
1, 2. Alright, so number 2.
Okay, so number 2 would be do your due diligence. Ask questions. Ask the right questions. Like, for instance, are you the rightful owner of the property? Do you have a title for the property?
Right.
Reason being, you don't want when you pay over your money, transaction finish if you don't have an attorney, somebody else I go just pop up in the picture and be like, yeah, this is my property, I did not sell this to you, yeah, come off, like, yeah, how you even get the property. See, avoid these situations.
Right.
Make sure they're the rightful owner of the property.
Owner of the property.
Over
No.
the property.
So yeah, 100%. Like somebody cannot sell you something that they do not own, right? So this is again though, like it ties back into number 1 because retain an attorney because you know you're going to get an agreement for sale, and you just see a name on the agreement for sale and probably say a Mass Joe. I'm probably not going to name Mass Joe on the agreement, but say a Mass Joe, yeah, talked about the land. Mass Joe named upon the agreement for sale, so you think everything good. But yeah, especially with like the most popular ones that we tend to get for like registered title will be a circumstance where someone has passed away, and whether it is the executor who is not actually the executor as yet, but perhaps they're named in a will, or it's like a child or a sibling or somebody, some family of the person who has passed away. They're trying to sell the property, but they have no right to sell it until there's a grant. And if they sell it and they're not the rightful executor, the rightful administrator, collect your money and disappear, then you know have nothing to get. Sorry. So that there's that. And then I've also known of situations, I won't call anybody's name, but I've known of situations where it's unregistered land and people go, pay their money, like millions of dollars over, and I kid you not, we have clients. We have clients that we have to convince, yo, don't pay over 2 million, 3 million, and you don't look at a title yet, or there is no title. Nah.
Definitely.
So it's important to ensure that you have the attorney does the title check, and you also do it, the information should be shared with you. So that was 2.
Okay.
What's next?
So I would say 3, secure your finance. Whether you're purchasing by cash, mortgage, or NHD, through NHD.
Right.
So how I would say, like, for instance, speak with your bank, right, to see how much they can give you so you can, budget for the balance, because a financial institution is not going to give you the entire purchase price.
Sometimes not, because they'll give you 100% financing.
But then you have to take in account like the extra fees, like stamp duty.
And sometimes, depending on your ability to afford, they'll give you a loan that even covers, that wouldn't quite be a mortgage. So you're right in that respect. But they'll give you like an unsecured loan to cover like your attorney's fees, your surveyor's report, valuation report.
Ooh, I did not know that.
Girl, but you know about the CRTD. Yes, we have clients who've used CRTD to cover both our fees, survey report. Why should I go look for me like she's surprised?
Hold up, pause. You can get like the unsecured ones. You get the mortgage.
Okay.
Alright, so you get the mortgage, you get the unsecured one, right? But I didn't know that the unsecured would cover like our fee that attorney.
It can, yes. So like
So So it's like an MTV give you the mortgage loan. Them also give you the unsecured loan, or you
It
have to get it
depends
from
on if you
another
can
bank.
afford it.
So it's the same institution to give them both the mortgage and the loan?
So usually how it works is that they probably work for the financing institution. So I'm not gonna say you can't get an unsecured loan if you don't work for the bank. You can, as long as you can show that you can afford it. But the economics of Jamaica are what the economics of Jamaica are. A lot of people would not be able to also to secure a mortgage and also secure an unsecured loan. So number 3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so number 3 would be secure your finance, whether you're purchasing by cash, mortgage, or through NHT.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you're purchasing with mortgage, you want to make sure that you're pre-approved. Speak with your bank to see how much you actually can afford.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So get pre-approved, secure your financing. You heard it here first from Amoya. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You want to make sure that you also take in account like the balance of the fee.
Alright, so my friend just said secure your financing and get pre-approved. So what that mean?
Securing your finances mean you need to figure out whether you're purchasing by cash or by mortgage and secure it.
Mm-hmm.
Securing the cash meaning if you're going to purchase by cash, make sure you have the money.
Make sure you have all the money ready. You know where all of the money is gonna come from. Like, this is very important, right?
I don't mean to cut you, but don't only think about the purchase price. You have to take into account the other fees associated with the transaction.
Right. So one of the very first things that we do here when we get a purchase is what? Like, what's the first couple of documents that we give them?
Well, we give them a statement of accounts.
Exactly. So that's one of the reasons why you need to reach out to an attorney, because we're gonna sit down, we're gonna find out from you what the purchase price is, and we're gonna tell you what all of the associated costs are, so that you can budget, because that is very important. Like, you do not want to get caught in the middle of a transaction, close to the end of the transaction, and figure out that you don't have enough money, because again, why it's important to have an attorney, because attorneys negotiate around these things where it's possible. It's not always possible, but yeah, people will take your deposits, and it's completely legal for them to do so if you have wasted their time. So you need to budget. Yes. So that was secure the financing. And what's this pre-approval business? I don't know.
Okay, so when you speak with your financial institution to get pre-approved, it's basically them, well, it's not saying they're probably going to give you a letter or something saying that you're qualified for this, well, for X amount. Mm-hmm. And that's the amount you can use for the purchase.
Right. So before you even start looking at properties, you need to reach out to, if you're getting a mortgage, right? You need to reach out to a mortgage officer and get pre-approved. And what the pre-approval means is that they're going to ask you about how much money you make, so your income, and how much money you spend every month, because they want to see how much you can afford to pay in terms of a mortgage every month, right? So yeah, that's good advice. Number 3, in terms of what Amaya is going to be paying attention to when she's purchasing her property,
definitely,
is securing her financing and ensuring that she is pre-approved before she go and look for the property, right? So that was number 3. So what's number 4 on the list?
Okay, so number 4, get a valuation report and a survey report done. Right. So 2 different things, 2 separate things, right? Mm-hmm. Valuation reports. Yeah. It basically tells you how much the property values, and that's important because say the vendor wants to sell the property to you for 20 million. Mm-hmm. It's also the reason why you need an attorney. Yes. Say they want to sell the property to you for 20 million, right? Sure. And then you paid your money or whatever. No, you don't pay the money yet. Sorry. Mm-hmm. They want to sell it to you for $20 million, then you'll get your evaluator to do the valuation report, and then he comes back saying that the property value is like 10 million. Mm-hmm. Your mortgage institution is not going to pay the whole 20 million. They're only going to pay 10 because that's what the property values. Yep. So you are going to have to part of that extra $10 million.
That is true.
So you need a valuation report, people.
And you need a valuation report preferably. So it is always recommended that you get that valuation report before you sign the agreement for sale and before you pay over any money. Because if there are any issues, you want to be in a strong position to negotiate. If you've already signed and you've already paid your deposit, your position to negotiate is a little bit weaker. But I think, am I preempting something that you're going to say?
No, ma'am.
No? Right, so especially in like St. Catherine, for instance, right, you have these huge developments and everything is a rush. Everybody who pay your deposit, sign their agreements, or sometimes there's no agreement. That is crazy. Those are crazy. But yeah, everybody's like, you have to pay $2 million to secure this particular lot or secure this particular house, and you see it and you love the house and you pay the $2 million. Yeah, yeah. Then anything after that, you don't have no agreement for sale, so you're literally relying on the good character and integrity of the developer that you have paid the money to, so that if anything should happen and you change your mind, or it is not ideal, or valuation don't come back to the market value, the purchase price, like all of that is going to be up in the air because you don't have an agreement. Yeah. So she's right. Super important. And then you also mentioned the surveyor's report.
Yeah, so for the surveyor's report right now, it basically, so I want to say it basically tells you that there's no encroachments on the property, right?
Big
but that, so I was getting to that, right? So I'm going to have you go in depth what it basically says, because the average person, when you say encroachment, you know,
They don't know what it means.
don't know what it means.
Right. Wait, so why me ever going this? No,
Alright, so encroachment.
Yeah.
Alright, say you purchase a property.
Like me can get up and leave because I might have this lucky air, but go on.
Alright, so I'm going to use my phone, right? Say you purchase.
We're getting a demonstration. Go on.
Say you're purchasing half of the phone over here. I don't think the phone is the best thing to use.
Yeah, I already choose the phone. Go on.
Alright, so you're purchasing over here, right? Then for some reason, and
it happens too often, yes.
Yeah, then it's like the survey report is going to tell you if anything is coming over on your property, or if by any chance your property is going over on someone else's property. Right, so
that's what an encroachment is. It's if something is literally coming over onto your property.
Or if they go over to somebody else.
Or if you can encroach on somebody else's property, that is very true. Yeah.
So you need to know like all of that before as well, because
wait, no, finish your sentence. Because
because you know, if you know that before I believe the vendor can fix it before you sign.
Right.
Yeah, because
then it puts you in a stronger position to ask the vendor to fix it.
Yeah, because if you sign and then you own property and everything, and then you go to it, and then for some reason you have to stop and then it come up back, you have to pay all of that fee.
So with that one, that is only going to happen in a cash purchase, but there's a reason why. So once you're purchasing with a mortgage, you're gonna have to get a surveyor's report and a valuation report, right? Tell me why it matters for the bank. Like, why does it matter? What's gonna happen if I go, if I'm purchasing and I get my surveyor's ID report and there's a breach of the restrictive covenant, so that's a thing, and then there's an encroachment, like, why is it gonna matter?
To the bank?
Why is it gonna matter to the transaction?
But wouldn't it just fall under what I just said, like?
So I don't think I don't know if we've had one where the bank explicitly write back and tell us, no. Because as an attorney, we see it and we catch it and we ask them to correct it. Sometimes we'll like talk to your mortgage officer and talk to the adjudicators on your behalf. And trust me, like, so just as an aside, I sat down the other day in front of my mother reading a surveyor's ID report. Nobody teaches you in law how to read this stuff. It's just something you kind of learn in practice, right?
Why you need an attorney, because the average person cannot read a surveyor's report.
And that's literally what my mother was saying to me, like, how you read that? Like, how you know how to read it? But yeah, so literally you read the surveyor's report and you interpret it, and then you're able to have and explain. You have to be able to explain what is happening to the mortgage officer in a way that they understand why it would be relevant to the application. And then they get feedback from the adjudicators to say, this is what needs to be done. If you do X, Y, or Z, then we'll be able to accept it. So sometimes this is getting like super complicated. I don't think either was intended for this one to get this long, but sometimes they might end up needing to go to court to get something, modification of restrictive covenants. Sometimes you have to knock out an entire wall. Sometimes it's a low fence or they call them wire fence here, right? And we've had those since you've been here.
Yeah.
We've had to send somebody on a roof to cut off a eave. So just the pointed part of a roof is breaching the boundary or encroaching, and we've had to send somebody there and just cut off the eave. So yeah, those are things that are very important. And if you have breaches of restrictive covenants, encroachments, the bank is not going to approve the mortgage. So it's important to know about it. Yes. So that was
Number 4.
number 4. So number 5.
Alright, so number 5. Last but not least.
Drum roll, please.
Okay, make sure there is a written agreement, an agreement for sale.
Yes.
You want to make sure there is evidence. Somebody will tell you, say, oh, we agree verbally. We agree, so I'm going to sell you this, you agree, you will purchase it verbally. And you have to have it in writing. Make sure you say, him say, sell me for that X amount, I agree to that. Special conditions, meaning it outlines
all the things that can go wrong. Yeah, we cover it in the agreement for sale. But just from a legal perspective, I think by this point most people already know. But like in law, you have to have a written contract for anything pertaining to land in order for the contract to be binding. So generally speaking, you can have a contract that is not in writing, right? But when it comes to land, if that is not in writing, it didn't happen, which is usually the case for most evidentiary things, right? You have to argue back and forth and whoever the judge believes more. But with land, the presumption is if there's nothing in writing, there was no sale. There's no transaction with land if it's not in writing. So God forbid that you choose not to retain the services of an attorney, then at the very least you should ensure that you sit down and write out something. Yeah, but get an attorney. Be smart. Get an attorney. Yes. But yeah, this has been Couch Conversations with your host Chantal Bailey and
Moya Hammond.
Hey, thank you very much for joining us today.